Hi and welcome to all the racing enthusiasts around the globe who are joining us for this pre-recorded show. We're recording early doors on Tuesday morning, and it is for the Wednesday meeting which takes place at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. In studio with me, none other than Graham Hawkins. Lovely to have you in studio, Graham, and looking forward to a good day's racing.
It promises to be a very nice day's racing, weather aside. We record on a Tuesday morning, as everybody knows, and as we speak and as we are recording, it is raining at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, and there is more rain forecast for tomorrow morning, being race day, with the weather clearing throughout the afternoon. That being said, not a huge amount of rain is expected, around 16 to 20 millimeters, but it will result, I think, in a softer track.
Right, let's get straight into proceedings. It's a 10-race program. So race number 1, Follow Your Heart, 5 to 2. Number 5, Star Major, 7 to 2. Number 2, Rockin' and Rolling, 9 to 2 from 5 to 1. And then you can get 6 to 1 and better the rest. Graham, this horse, Follow Your Heart, the master of my fate, second on debut and then third to North Point. Both those form lines have been franked.
Strong form, number 8, Follow Your Heart. Equally strong form, number 5, Star Major, ran second behind All the Rage on debut, and All the Rage has a pretty decent sort. He came out to run second in a nice feature. On that form line, Star Major could well have the measure of number 1, Ashikule. Obviously, numbers 3, Canal Scarter, and 4, Bugle Boy bring the Happy Verse form line into play. I'm not convinced that that is as strong as the All the Rage Military Command form and the form that Follow Your Heart has shown behind Spacebound and North Point. I'm marginally in the camp of number 5, Star Major, over number 8, Follow Your Heart, but Children, the interesting runner, is number 2, Rockin' and Rollin'. Australian bred, 2-year-old son of Whitten Bassett. Whitten Bassett set a new international record last year with the most individual number of group winners, 2-year-old group winners. He's flying at the moment. His stud fee for 2025 has been reset at 300,000 euros. So 6 million rand to get your mare to Whitten Bassett. And this one is out of a fast net rock mare. Andre Nell describes him as a quality sort that will need further, but I'm really looking forward to seeing number 2, Rockin' Rolling, in the flesh. Another one that might improve is number 11, Lyrical Gangster. Off the back of his debut, which was also behind North Point. That was pretty much 2 months ago. He was very green on that occasion. I would expect to see a lot of improvement from number 11, Lyrical Gangster. It's not a cut and dried race. The betting will be a good guide, particularly with regards to number 2, Rockin' Rollin'. But I'm marginally in the camp of number 5, Star Major.
So there we go, Star Major in race number 1. As we move along to race number 2, quite a few unraced horses, so keep a close eye on the betting. Number 7, Precocious, is 11 to 10. Number 9, Take It As Red, 4 to 1. Number 3 is 9 to 2, and number 1, Splash of Colour, at 6 to 1. Now, number 7, Precocious, showed that she was precocious first time out, Graham.
Surprisingly so, being by Ideal World, ran a very good race on debut. That was at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. That was back on the 5th of March. He's been given time to progress since. Gonna love the step up to 1,400 meters. And number 7, Precocious, does appeal as a bipod banker in the opening leg. This is the first leg of the bipod. Watch for improvement from number 1, Splash of Colour. I think that will run a lot better. Also stepping up to 1,400 meters, drawn in pole position. And a reminder, of course, that in terms of races around the turn, we're on the winter course for the first time this season. We've been on the summer course up until now. So the run-in is obviously a lot shorter on the winter course, and pole position and draws can be critical. Number 2, Mighty Mary's got obvious scope for improvement. Number 3, Oncidium, is a first-timer. Currently in the market, we'll have to watch and see as race time approaches as to whether she eases or whether she shortens. And then I think if you're playing quartets, and this comment is made tongue-in-cheek, but if you're playing quartets, banker number 9, Take It As Red, to run 4th.
There we go. Take It As Red to run in 4th position, and you could be sitting very, very pretty. As we move along to race number 3, which opens the place accumulator, and this is Graham's suggested bet for the day. You've got 3 bankers on the card, and 2 of those bankers come up as number 3, and the opening banker will be 3 Tigers, so everything seems to align here.
Absolutely, number 3 Tigers. For me, the nap of the day. I know he's got number 9 Eco to beat. That ran well. Second up after a long rest. Went second behind Dive Bomber. So this will be Eco's peak run. He'll come into the race very fit. There has been a little bit of a nibble in the anti-post market. Was priced up 4-1. That's been claimed into 7-2. Three Tigers is deep in the red. But I like the run behind Churchillian, and I think now with 2 runs under the belt, I would have preferred maybe 1,200 meters. I think that 1,000 meters is very much on the sharp side for him, particularly as he doesn't always get away to the best of starts. But I really do think that there's a bit of quality about this 2-year-old son of One World. So for me, 3 Tigers is the nap of the day. Eco obviously presents as a clear and present danger. And then watch for improvement from number 1 Red Wave. The progeny of Eric the Red are certainly flying around the country in juvenile races. He made his debut over 1,200 meters, steps back to 1,000 meters, showed very, very good speed before running out of steam. That Happy Verse form line obviously comes under scrutiny earlier in the day with Canal Scarter and Bugle Boy representing that form line in the opener. So we'll see how they go. That could enhance the chances of number 1 Red Wave, but I do think it's in his favor that he steps back to 1,000 meters, but it's very hard to oppose 3 Tigers.
That'll take us on to race number 4, which will be the opening leg of the all-important pick 6. 13:25 is the off time. The distance is 1,400 meters. And when we have a look at number 3, New World, the One Worlds are really setting the tracks ablaze, Graham. And this looks a ready-made banker.
Top choice, number 3, New World. Interesting that he gets blinkers. We've said it on so many of our shows recently that Greg Enyon is probably going through the most frustrating period of his life. His horses are running well. They're finishing 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but he just can't get into the winner's enclosure. Well, let's hope that number 3, New World, does it for him and for Richard Farine, the opening leg of the pick 6. It's a maiden plate, 1,400 meters. So once again, we're on the winter course. Nice draw, good form. Close second behind Randolph Hurst last time out, and Randolph Hurst is very highly regarded. Opened up 28-10, has already shortened 22-10, so interest in the anti-post market for number 3, New World. But I'm not sure that he shapes up as a banker in the pick 6. I do have healthy respect for number 6, Drickus. This is clearly his best trip. His last 2 runs over 1,400 meters, he's run 2nd. He is a year older, and that could count in his favor. I'm sure that ultimately number 3, New World, might be the better of the 2 in terms of their careers going forward, but I have healthy respect for number 6, Drickus. 5, Vapor Trail, the half-brother to 1 Stripe. He was a touch disappointing last time, but he blew in the betting from 5-2 out to 10-1. It was almost as if he had lost a leg in the parade ring somewhere, but he ran accordingly, well beaten in 4th, but I think he could be better than that. I do think they bring in stronger form lines than number 7, Yamazaki. So if I was looking to narrow down the first leg of the pick 6, I would include numbers 3, 5, and 6 and take my chances and perhaps not include number 7, Yamazaki. But if you want to throw all 4 in, I've included 3 and 6 in the second leg of the place accumulator, and I would do the same in the bipod. New World, top choice, but I do think Drickus will run well.
We'll then move on to race number 5 for the racing fans out there looking to have a bet on the nose. Even money favourite for the doubles and trebles, number 7, Miss William. Number 2 is at 33-10. Number 1, Cape Captain, 5-1. And they can pretty much get 8 and 10-1. Bar the top few. Number 7, Miss William, shapes up with some really good form, some decent, consistent form. But how strong are those form lines?
They're not the strongest, but I was impressed with her last run. She went very close behind Hunger Tonga from the worst gate. She's drawn slightly better on this occasion. I do think that she sets a very strong standard here, number 7, Miss William. But this is an open maiden. She's carrying 60 and conceding weight to a number of other runners with form. So while I make number 7, Miss William, a very confident first choice, the one that I think you might need to keep an eye on is number 8, Meg's Legacy. I've been waiting for her to step up in trip. She's a half-sister to Oriental Charm. She receives 5.5 kilograms with a half a kilogram that Craig Zaki puts up. It's 5.5 kilograms she gets from number 7, Miss William. So that ought to make her competitive I think that as far as certainly the place accumulator is concerned, number 7, Miss William, presents as an obvious banker. Cape Captain and Sweet Conifer, they have some claims. I think Sweet Conifer has been largely disappointing. Cape Captain ran terribly last time out, can only do better than that from pole position. Last time out raced with blinkers, that might have accounted for the poor performance. The blinkers come off again, so Grant van Niekerk, I'm sure, will get Cape Captain into the race, and maybe the blinkers just accounted for the bad run last time out. But 7, Miss William, a pretty confident first choice, despite the fact that she's giving weight away. The danger for me would be number 8, Meg's Legacy.
There we go. Those are the 2 horses that you need to be aware of and include in all of your bets. Structure those in. As we move along to race number 6 and just having a look at the anti-post betting. 33-10 the field with number 11 Beneath the Clouds, 61 kilograms, been an open maiden. Number 9 Louis Star, 61.5, 4-1. Number 3 Sweet Summer Lovers, 9-2, and then it's 5-1 and better the rest. Let's start off with number 11 Beneath the Clouds. Gavin Lorena jumps aboard for the Crawford stable, for the Rexes and all of them. What do you make of number 11 Beneath the Clouds at 33-10? Is that a realistic price?
Yeah, look, I think she deserves to be the market leader. As you say, it is another open maiden. She shoulders 61. So it's not going to be easy. She was touched off. She looked all over a winner last time, touched off in the very last stride by English Mistress. Now we know how long English Mistress took to win a maiden. I labelled English Mistress that day, and my heart was in my mouth until the very last stride. So Beneath the Clouds nearly beat her last time out. She goes an extra 100 metres here. The form of a penultimate start over 1,500 metres has worked out really well. So I do think that number 11 Beneath the Clouds stands a favourite's chance. But I quite like the look of number 9, Louis Star. Now, this one's got 61.5 to shoulder, so half a kilogram more than number 11, Beneath the Clouds. Has yet to be tested beyond 1,400 metres. Another Greg Enyon runner. And, you know, when the floodgates open for Greg Enyon, he can have multiple winners on a day. So this could be one of them. I've just been waiting for Louis Star to go the trip. I really have. Already had 7 career starts, been in the money on 4 occasions. The form is not overwhelming, but I've been waiting for it to go further. And it's taken some time for Greg to take that step with the daughter of Louis the King. So I'm in the camp of number 9, Louis Star, over number 11, Beneath the Clouds. But it doesn't end there. You've got to have a measure of respect for number 1, Sesame, and number 3, Sweet Summer Love. They both, Sweet Summer Love gets a little bit more weight than does Sesame, but they both get a little bit of weight from the leading choices, 9, Louis Star, and 11, Beneath the Clouds. But I'm going to have an each-way touch on number 9, Louis Star. I think she's going to relish going to 1,800 metres.
Well, there you've heard from Graham, Louis Star. They've taken their time, stepping up in distance, and this could be the day this one shines. Moving along to race number 7, over 1,800 metres, and just having a look at the betting, Graham, it tells the tale. 7-2 the field. Number 4, Tap Shoes, and number 5, Strawberry Thief, joint at 7-2. Number 7, Golden Angel is 9-2, and number 1, Lavender Bay with number 11, Pentalina at 5-1. A little bit of outside support for number 8, Lickety Split, and take note that number 10, Girl Magic, is scratched with a 10% deduction. I'm going to hand the baton straight over to you for race number 7. Are you going to be tapping your shoes, or are you looking elsewhere?
I'm looking elsewhere. I'm not really in the camp of tap shoes at all, so I might be wrong and I might have egg all over my face, but I know races are not run on paper. They run on the track, and we go back to the winter course, and on top of it all, it could be a soft track depending on how much rain actually falls. But Lavender Bay's got them all stone cold at the weights. Absolutely stone cold. She's drawn in pole position. She's won on the winter course before. My slight worry is whether she's as good on a soft track as she is on a fast track. She beat Royal Invitation over 1,800 metres back in March. And when you look at the race, she's got Epic Kleros held, she's got Tap Shoes held, she's got Strawberry Thief held, she's got Golden Angel held, she's got Pentalina held. So if you're going to go with the maths, then you can almost label number 1 Lavender Bay. But I have that slight concern as to whether she is at her real best on a soft track, or whether she likes it going quick and fast. So for that reason, I've gone for a bit of cover. Lavender Bay, though, for me is a clear first choice. Strawberry Thief and Pentalina for me are the 2 immediate dangers. Pentalina should have the measure of number 5, Strawberry Thief. There's a lot of talk about Strawberry Thief. Pentalina's got the worst of the draw to overcome. But as I say, at the weights, they all held by number 1, Lavender Bay. 7, Golden Angel, is the one that's had a bit of relief from the handicap, has been dropped a couple of points again. And with only 53 on her back, she's another take it as red type form line. She's run 4th in the last 4 starts. So you're almost tempted to say, well, you know, she's going to run 4th again. But she's very much alive, is number 7, Golden Angel. Lickety Split is very genuine, but 62 to shoulder is not going to be easy. So to cut to the chase, while I have covered Lavender Bay in the place accumulator with numbers 5 and 11, I'm very firmly in the camp of Lavender Bay, and I'm going to have a bit of a strike.
So there we go, Lavender Bay. If you are down in the out, go have a little bit of a bet. If you are ahead, have a strike, and hopefully you go further ahead. So we can move along to race number 8. And when you look at race number 8, it's over 1,100 meters. And look at the best weighted column. There's not much separating 5 or 6 runners. Number 3, Babalicious. This is a daughter of VAR from the Candice Bass Robinson stable. Now, Graham, she's one of those consistent bred earners. Each and every time she comes down to the course, she puts in a decent effort.
She'll always give you a good run for your money. She is clearly my top choice here, and she is a suggested place accumulator banker. There are others with chances. The one thing we can be sure of, again, the going might be a little bit on the soft side. In fact, it's certain to be a little on the soft side. This 1,100 meters, so it's in between the 1,000 and the 12. They're going to go a helter-skelter gallop. You know, you've got the likes of Golden Tatiana and Peace of Mind in the race. They only know one way, and that's to go flat out from the start. We've seen that. Golden Tatiana doesn't really even get home over 1,000 meters. She went 100 miles an hour early when compounding behind the US of A late. So she's not likely to get home over 1,100 meters. Peace of Mind is also very fast over 1,000 meters. Ran over this track and trip back on the 4th of May when a good second behind Tanneron. So, you know, there's no reason why Peace of Mind shouldn't go well here. She goes flat out. So are they going to cut each other's throats? The interesting runner for me is number 7, World Craft. Has her second run after a long rest. Also showed a lot of speed. This is her second run after a rest, long rest, but she should strip a lot fitter. And you know, she actually beat Babalicious as a juvenile. She beat Babalicious by a length. World Craft showed tremendous potential as a 2-year-old. She only had the 3 starts. She beat the talented Rockapina and Babalicious. But Babalicious is in good form. She's very game. She's very consistent. Back at the George is also very much alive. I think for the win berth, you can't be as confident about number 3, Babalicious, as you can maybe as a place accumulator banker, because you're going to get a genuine run for your money. She'll be there and thereabouts when the photographs are taken. She is the top choice. If you're really looking to manufacture a banker because there's some competitive other races, whether you're playing the pick 6, jackpot 1 or jackpot 2, then I wouldn't put you off going with number 7, Babalicious, but you've got to respect the likes of number 6 back at the George, 7, World Craft, and perhaps number 9, Peace of Mind, who's going to go flat out early and may cut throats with Golden Tatiana.
I always like to throw you a little bit of a curveball. 25 to 1 about number 4, Miss Marguerite. A dual course and distance winner, and this is the type of horse who could cause a bit of a stir if things map out for her.
And on a soft track. Oh my goodness, she's, she is deadly on a soft track. She's currently the longest shot in the race. I looked at the betting and I thought, why are you so far down the race? I looked at the last run. In fact, you might argue that the last 2 runs have been somewhat below par. But to your point, she has the ability. She's got 60 kilograms to shoulder. She goes really well for Ashton Aries. She's won 5 races. Ashton Aries has won on her 4 times. The trick here could be the fact that her last 2 runs have been on good going, good ground. She's going to get the soft track that she loves, and she could be the lurker in the pack. So if you're looking for a big boil over, number 4, Miss Marguerite, could be the source of that boil over.
Well, that's the one I'll be looking for, Miss Marguerite, and then we'll go out with some margaritas afterwards to celebrate, and hopefully the 25 to 1 each way will come through for you and the exotics. As we move along to race number 9, and this is the Paul Diamant D Stakes over 1,200 meters. So once again, the best weighted column comes into play. And I know, Graham, number 9, Electric Fields, is very close to your heart. That's the best weighted runner, along with number 8, True Horizon. And then after that, there's 3 or 4 all on top of each other.
This is one of those races where we often say you can run the race. How many runners do we have? 9 runners. You can run the race 9 times over and get 9 different winners. It's that kind of race. It's a low grade, average merit rating 58. But let's kick off with number 9, Electric Field. She was marginally disappointing last time on the 16th of April. She's been given a bit of time off. She's chasing the country championship. I know that Michelle Ricks is very keen to try and win that. There's some lovely bonus prize money and offer to win that, and she's right up there near the top, if not at the top of the log, near the top of the log. And it's all for these kind of horses that program has been established. She's clearly a runner, Electric Fields. If you forgive her last start, she brings really good form into the race. We were quite strong at a big price on number 7, Becky Sharp, last time out, and I thought we were going to get away with it. She ran second, half a length of Cliffscape. She actually moved through, and I thought, here we go. We had got some 10 to 1 and 8 to 1, but she was narrowly beaten. She doesn't always run 2 races alike, though. That's my worry with number 7, Becky Sharp. Adam Marcus has got Royal Lytham and True Horizon, either of which could win. Lover's Lane in a race like this could win. Obviously, some will say that Champagne Mac sets the standard. Richard Faree, Champagne Mac has in its entire 19-horse career has had 1 win in 3 seconds. Richard Faree's been aboard every time it's done that. So clearly Richard Faree gets a good tune out of Champagne Mac. But I can't be definitive in this race. It's one of those low-grade D-stakes races. I've gone very wide, as you can see in the final leg of the place accumulator. There are only 9 runners, and I've gone with 5 of them, numbers 2, 3, 7, 8, and 9. We'll recap the place accumulator in a moment. That's how difficult I think race 9 is.
Then on to race number 10, and hopefully you're sitting quietly in the box seat and you got the money to play for free. If you are on the back foot, let's see if we can try and get you out of trouble in race number 10. And talking about number 8, Pilot Flame, Graham ran second to My Only Weakness last time, where the average rating was an 80. Unfortunately went up 4 points for that run. Which actually makes Captain's Destiny a handicapping certainty if you go back to the penultimate run. I thought Pilot Flame was very unlucky not to win last time out. Richard Faree, we spoke about him getting a good tune out of Champagne Mac in race 9. Well, he certainly gets a real good tune out of Pilot Flame. He's ridden her 4 times for 2 wins, a second and a third. Yes, she's got her £4, which, as I say, kind of makes Captain's Destiny a bit of a certainty. Captain's Destiny fluffed to lines last time, but I think you can safely ignore that run and go back to her previous course and distance form, and it's very good. And she's double-figure odds. So I know they're betting 5 to 1 the field, so it's an extremely tough race. The betting tells a story. But Pilot Flame at 5 to 1, Miraculous at 5 to 1, 1 or 2 others at that same price. Captain's Destiny seems to have been written off on the evidence of a last run. She's a double-figure odds. But if you go back to the run, the penultimate run, when Pilot Flame ran over this track and trip on the 16th of April, Captain's Destiny beat Pilot Flame. He's now better off at the weights because of the hike that Pilot Flame has got. So it's not going to be easy for Pilot Flame. But I do think she's ready to win, and I think she'll go well. I think Miraculous will go well. This is a lovely quartet race. And I'm going to, in fact, triple float here. It's not necessarily the common way of playing, but I'm going to triple float Captain's Destiny, Pilot Flame, and Miraculous with a whole heap of other runners. I know that From a Distance, Maritzburg Memory and Oktoberfest come out of that their own form line. Maritzburg Memory suddenly bounced back to form last time out, beating From a Distance and Oktoberfest. They need to confirm that form. Priscilla Maisie will carry the hopes of a few, and she's got class, might be better. That's a very, very tough race, Sheldon. The value lies with number 2, Captain's Destiny. Despite the penalty, my gut tells me that Pilot Flame is going to get the job done. Will appreciate the soft track. Miraculous very much alive. So for me, triple floating banker in the quartet, 2, 7, 2, 8, and 10 with a whole host of runners, and hope that I've cracked it right. This horse, number 11, Japanese Rose, has come down to an 80 in the ratings, is drawn out at 11, off form recently. But if you go back to that 4th to Sidley, the 2nd to Be Merry, and earlier on was just behind Distinction, that's a nice type of horse at a big price for the quartets.
I would certainly include her amongst the others that I've mentioned after my triple floating banker. If she brings the October-November 2024 form into this race, she'll go very close. Now, what is interesting, I don't know if they've detected a problem, but a late declaration, they've thrown the tongue tie on to number 11, Japanese Rose. That's a late declaration. So maybe she will appreciate the fact that she's been fitted with the tongue tie and show sudden improvement. So, yes, on pure ability, 11 Japanese Rose does come into the race with a chance, but her recent form has not inspired too much confidence.
Well, currently 33-1 Japanese Rose, so maybe we found you a few outsiders for the trifectas and the quartets, and obviously throw them into all of your bets. That's the 10-race program. Thanks very much for joining us in studio, Graham. Before you leave us, you're going to give us your suggested bet, please.
Thank you very much, Sheldon. A place accumulator, I think this shapes up as a real nice place accumulator type card. And in the first leg, we bank number 3, Tigers. He gets my vote as a nap of the day. Second leg, numbers 3 and 6, New World and Drickus. Third leg, banker number 7, Miss William. I'm looking for a much better run from number 8, Meg's Legacy. But from a place accumulator perspective, certainly banker number 7, Miss William. Then 9 and 11, Louis Star. And 11 Beneath the Clouds. I do like Louis Star, but I'm going to throw in number 11 Beneath the Clouds as backup. Then 1, 5 and 11. Again, I'm quite strongly in the camp of Lavender Bay, but I'm a little concerned about the softer track maybe. Throwing in numbers 5 Strawberry Thief and 11 Pantalina. But as we mentioned earlier, I think Lavender Bay certainly mathematically has got them all held. Then banker number 3 Babylicious in the place accumulator. There, of course, Sheldon likes Miss Margarita at a huge price, and she'll appreciate the softer ground because it has been raining at Kenilworth. Then, last leg of the PA, 9 runners. I'm going 5 of them. It would be an embarrassment to go out the last leg of the place accumulator. I've thrown in numbers 2, 3, 7, 8, and 9.
Well, as you heard from Graham there, survival of the fittest, so hopefully you can come through there with those amount of numbers that you will be going through. Thanks very much for Graham joining us in studio. As always, it's an absolute pleasure. You give the insight, you give the lowdowns, and hopefully the horses do it for us.
Thank you, Sheldon. Yes, it's going to be an interesting day's racing. First time on the winter course for a while. 6 of the 10 races are for fillies and mares, and we're on a soft track.
Well, there we have it, a soft track. The rain is about there in Cape Town, so look for those runners who like a little bit of give in the ground. We've given you the 10 races, and let's hope the horses will run as fast as we want them to.